Mothers know all about life's tricky transitions. Thankfully, Ollie helps you prioritize wellness through every age, life stage, or magnificent mood change. Need a multitasking multivitamin that keeps up with you? How about an essential prenatal for you and baby? Ollie's got you through it all. Life's tricky. Your wellness routine shouldn't be. Get what you need at ollie.com.
Deciding which credit card or loan is right for you is like trying to choose where you want to eat for dinner. Except when you finally get to the restaurant, the menu's riddled with jargon that no average foodie could understand. So at Credit Karma, we keep things simple. We show you personalized recommendations that align with your money goals and help you turn the confusing fine print into terms you can actually understand. And as a cherry on top, we provide a detailed overview for a new card or loan before you apply. That way, we can help you make decisions faster and with more confidence. Download Intuit Credit Karma today to get started.
My clinic is full of screaming kids, as you can imagine, and every age kid is crying for a different reason. Newborns cry because we put them on a scale and weigh them. That's it. I don't blame them at all. They're just cold or being a regular baby. That's what they do. They cry because they can't say no like a toddler can. From 12 months to about 18 months, kids don't want to be touched by a stranger at all. So everything that happens in my office is a complete nightmare to them. And then by age 2.5 or so, kids are delightful. They strut into the office and are super proud of themselves and say things like, I'm their best friend. They bring me crayon drawings. And then after that 2.5-year-old visit, for some reason, kids cry or even run out of the office. I assume it's because they have bad memories of being in the clinic. It's not that uncommon for a middle school student to cry or be anxious when they know they're getting a vaccine. How many of you parents get a little anxious yourself about a shot? That's what I'm talking about today. What to do about needle phobia and how to help your kids at every visit to set them up for having an easier time at the doctor's office. I'll know this episode was successful when there is less screaming in my office. This topic benefits everyone. I'm Dr. Wendy Hunter, and I'm the pediatrician next door. I'm that doctor friend you call for practical advice about your kids' health. I mix the science of medicine with the reality of parenting. Needle phobia is a real and very common issue. It makes sense. Needles are sharp and they can hurt. Plus, the fear can feel overwhelming for kids. Sometimes this fear can even cause parents to delay or avoid vaccinations. Dr. Stefan Friedrichsdorf is a professor of pediatrics at the University of California, San Francisco, and he's the medical director of the Stad Center for Pediatric Pain, Palliative Care, and Integrative Medicine. As his title implies, he researches preventing pain and suffering in children. He starts by explaining why we need vaccines.
Go back in time, 50 years, 100 years, 150 years. If I talk to my grandmother, 6 of her 12 siblings died. So 3 generations ago, babies died. And if you actually see, why do most kids survive right now? There are 2 answers. Number 1, it's hand washing. So since doctors are actually washing their hands, it really has gotten down on numbers of people dying from infections. Number 2, it's vaccinations. Without vaccines, children would be at risk of serious illness, disability, or even death from diseases such as measles or whooping cough or infection of the brain and meningitis due to Haemophilus influenza type B. So a vaccine is a medical product. I personally, as a pediatrician, have taken care of 5 children who died from measles because they were not vaccinated. And that is preventable in each and every time of those tragic cases.
We know how important vaccines are. They protect our children from serious diseases like measles, polio, and whooping cough. And you have to get them to enroll in most schools. So it's crucial that we find easy, comfortable ways to protect kids. When parents are asked, what do they say is one of the most common reasons kids are not vaccinated?
If you actually look and ask the parents, why are kids not vaccinated? Of course, a huge study has shown that being afraid of needles is actually the number one reason why kids are not getting vaccinated. And as I said, because the parents can't watch their baby being held down and pinned down and getting 1 or 2 or 3 needles, because they also themselves are very afraid, or the children themselves don't want to do this. So needle fear is the primary reason for immunization and non-compliance. We now know that 1 out of 4 adults are afraid of needles. And if we ask, when did you become afraid of needles? Well, it was probably when they were held down as children and they developed all this anxiety. And when it was like all done in the wrong way. So we can do better. And taking pain and anxiety is not only the right thing to do, it also improves medical care and improves access to medicine later on in life.
When a child has a strong fear of needles, it can make routine vaccinations feel like an impossible task. Parents might feel overwhelmed, embarrassed, or helpless when their child reacts by crying, screaming, or even refusing to cooperate. In some cases, parents decide to delay vaccines, hoping their child will outgrow it. But delaying vaccines puts children at risk for preventable diseases. The key is finding ways to make the experience less frightening. If we can reduce the fear, we can ensure that children stay on track with their vaccinations. Here's what Dr. Friedrichsdorf has experienced and what his research shows can be helpful.
When you ask every single child, what are you most afraid of seeing a doctor right now? Every single kid is going to tell you they're afraid of needles, of pokes, of being held down. So we have looked at the data, and based on what many clinicians, pharmacists, child life specialists have been taught for decades now, we basically package this as a comfort promise. And we really want to offer those 4 things to every child, every time. Because what's happening most of the time in most places here in the United States is like, oh, this is offered for some children some of the time. All right, let's go through it. Number 1, always offer numbing cream. So you can just buy over-the-counter 4% lidocaine cream. You can order this online for a few dollars. And you want to apply the numbing cream at least 30 minutes before the needle procedure. It can be on longer, that doesn't matter, but it should be at least for 30 minutes. Number 2, for babies younger than 12 months, always offer a drop of sugar water, sucrose, or allow breastfeeding if this is possible. And the sugar water, the breastfeeding, works basically as a pain blocker. It stops the pain information reaching the brain. The same way as if I have a piece of dark chocolate tonight, it helps me to release endorphins, happy hormones in my brain, and reduce the amount of pain and stress reaching my brain. Number 3, never, ever, ever, ever hold down a child. We were all taught the wrong way, that the best way is to hold down kids and then do the vaccination and do the blood draw. And we now know this is a terrible mistake. So once children are old enough to sit upright, so 6 months or older, you really want to sit them upright and give them choices. They may want to sit on their parents' or grandparents' lap. They may want to sit next to them. Teenagers may just want to sit upright on their own, but they would know what to do. And number 4, offer age-appropriate distraction. Age-appropriate distraction means that, as I just mentioned, teenagers may choose to be on their phone listening to music or being with an app. For smaller children and school kids, we like blowing bubbles or blowing pinwheels or using a book, find Weldo, something like this. And for small kids, babies and toddlers, they are very fascinated by distracting toys with spinning wheels or something like that. And we have found if we offer those 4 things to every child, every time, the vast majority of children do not experience pain and anxiety with needles. And some say they were bothered a little, but it's really, really significantly down.
Meaningless stuff. Why do we gift so much meaningless stuff? Tired of generic gifts and hollow trends? Shutterfly allows you to create meaningful photo gifts for your family and friends. Whether it's a cozy fleece blanket for grandma, a stunning canvas print for mom, or a mug to make dad smile, enjoy 40% off with code MAKE40 at Shutterfly.com and make something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for adults with migraine with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Ask your doctor and visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at Aruba.com.
The fear of needles often starts in early childhood. A bad experience with a shot can leave a lasting impression. Kids may also pick up on their parents' anxiety or hear stories from friends or siblings, which can make their fear worse. For some children, it's not just the needle. They may have a deeper fear of doctors' offices or medical procedures in general. And it's important to note that while some kids grow out of this fear, most don't, and it can persist into adulthood. I appreciate Dr. Friedrichsdorf's recommendations that are based on his research, and we are seeing changes happen in doctors' offices to adopt these kinds of recommendations. However, in my real life, our pediatric offices just don't have enough staff or time. When I worked in the emergency room, we had child life specialists. They were specially trained in distraction techniques, and their only job was to distract the child during a procedure. They used things like light-up toys that spin and fun games. I also want to note that children's hospitals in general are operating on a very tight margin, and they don't have the budget. They can't afford to pay for child life specialists. At our local hospital, they were actually paid for by Spirit Halloween stores. So I want to give them a special free shout out here. Their support of this program has made a huge difference for a lot of children. I'd also love to be able to apply numbing cream before we give shots, but that's also kind of expensive for a clinic, and the timing and getting the right location on a child, that can be a barrier to using numbing cream. Though, as the doctor suggests, this is something you can buy yourself. When your child is brought back to their room at their well visit, you can ask the medical assistant to show you exactly where they plan to give the shot, and you can put the numbing cream on your child then. You don't have to do this before you go to the clinic. There's usually plenty of time for the cream to work before the shots are given once you arrive. There are lots of other things you can do to help your child too. So what else does Dr. Friedrichsdorf suggest that parents can do to reduce kids' needle pain and anxiety?
If your doctor's office does not provide the numbing cream, you want to buy the numbing cream yourself and apply it at home at least 30 minutes and before. So just check in with your clinician's office where to apply the numbing cream. For older children, a year or older, it's usually up here on the arm. They might need 2 vaccinations, so maybe you have to do the other arm. Usually for babies or children younger than 1 year, it's like up on the leg, on the thigh. So just make sure that you know where to put the numbing cream. And talk to your kids about this. We're not lying. If they're asking, do I get a shot? You say like, well, you will get a very brief vaccination at the very end. And this time we're going to really differently. Yeah, you're going to sit on my lap if you like. Or do you want to sit next to me? We're going to put the numbing cream, the magic cream on. It helps, and parents are welcome to use our website or other websites for this information to really make sure to care for our language. I'm a dad of 3 kids. I never was taught what to do, right? And we just now have learned that research has shown, like, do not count to 3. So this idea of counting to 1, 2, 3, and then put the needle in, that makes it even worse. Yeah, so that's not a good idea. And it's also not a good idea to say, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, or it'll be over soon, or it'll be okay. All of this actually makes the worry much, much larger. So we really want to encourage parents like myself to encourage them to use bravery language and things they can do to help to relieve the stress and pain of the procedure, like deep breathing, distraction. Ask them about pets or school or music or interest, something like that. Very much distraction. And right after the needle poke, whether it's a blood draw or vaccination, it's really helpful to reframe the pain. We want to shape the memory for next time. We want the kids to remember this well. So praise them, either the parent or the caregiver or the clinician. No matter what, I'm so proud of you. You did so well. And either the kid actually did not flinch and was really completely distracted. And I said, like, you did amazing. Do you remember how you were not bothered at all? Or even if this is a child who's quite anxious and has been held down in the past, and maybe all those modalities still make them that they're crying for very brief moments, then you say, like, remember how you were bothered for only a brief moment. And then afterwards, you got this nice sticker from the nurse. Do you remember that? But just saying this, the kids will remember this much more positively, so they have much less anxiety when they come back.
So how can we make vaccines less scary? There are several strategies we can use, and the good news is that a lot of these are simple and they work. First, prepare your child in advance. Talk to your kid about the shot ahead of time. Explain in simple terms why they have to get it, and say something like, "This is going to keep you healthy and strong." And avoid using scary words like pain or hurt. Instead, try to use words like quick pinch or super fast. Next, you need to be calm and confident yourself as the parent. Children are great at picking up on your emotions. If you're nervous, they're likely to feel nervous too. So stay calm and confident. You might say something like, "I know it's not fun, but we're going to get through this together." And as we mentioned, distraction is a very powerful tool. You can bring a favorite toy, a book, or even play a game on your phone. Some clinics have fun wall decorations to keep kids engaged while the shot is being administered. It can be challenging to use a numbing cream, I know, and in my experience, it kind of only numbs the skin and not the deeper muscle where the shot will go. But if your child is particularly sensitive to pain, consider buying one of these creams and apply it to the skin before the shot. These can take the edge off the physical sensation of the needle, but they might also help by making the child think it's going to block the pain. My other favorite thing that I see parents do is to help their children use deep breathing or relaxation techniques. Teaching your child simple techniques like deep breathing can help them stay calm. It's best to practice these at home before your appointment. So do something like try counting to 3 together while taking deep breaths. I did this all the time with my kids when they would get upset. They quickly learned to take 3 deep breaths without my help whenever they got upset. Lastly, it's fine to reward your child's bravery. After the shot, praise your child, no matter how they handled it. And rewards like stickers or small treats, that can reinforce the idea that they did something important for their health. Helping your child overcome needle phobia isn't just about making that one single doctor's visit easier. It's about helping them develop lifelong resilience. Kids who learn how to manage their fear of needles are more likely to stay on top of their health as they grow older. They'll feel more empowered and less anxious about routine medical care. And as parents, by addressing this fear early, you're not only protecting them from preventable diseases, but also giving them the tools they need to face other challenges in life with courage and confidence. Thank you to Dr. Friedrichsdorf for his knowledge and also for his incredibly appropriate voice and accent to kick off this spooky season. Did you notice? Be sure to listen to next week's special Halloween episode. more from the Pediatrician Next Door, find me on the web at pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com. If you've got a question about the weird things kids do, send an email to hello@pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com for a chance to hear your voice on the show. I'm Dr. Wendy Hunter, and I'm the Pediatrician Next Door. This show is produced by Red Rock Music. Make sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever it is you're listening. I'll be back next time with more.